Yeah. So I just hit the live button, and what Jeff and I are lamenting is that we just had it was a good 5 minute span of uproarious laughter. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we're not live, we're not recording. This is all just like dead air. This is dead. We saw the most amazing thing in the world. You'll never believe it, and we didn't get a photo of it.
No, exactly. All
And in
our
fact,
high energies, they'll pre-show, and then we get
yeah,
to the actual show. You're like, no, no, simmer down.
yeah. Let's settle it down there for a second. The best part is too, like we're dressed like designers. Like we look terrible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Black, drab, like
Yep.
just depressing.
Circles underneath the eyes, like, oh, we need to get to bed after this.
All we're missing is like big, thick, audacious, like arrogant glasses.
Yep.
And we'll
Yeah.
complete the design. It's like a Halloween costume for a designer is what we're
It
wearing.
really is. Maybe maybe this is what we went as. We're just still wearing it.
Designers. Oh, we even did the ones and twos. So for a very rare treat
Oh, yes.
for all the live listeners, as we start up the show, we're going to do our countdown to sync our two locally recorded audio files. You ready, Jeff?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Enjoy,
Bring the
everybody.
energy.
1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7.
8.
Nice. There it is. Synced up, ready. Talking with Audacity, although it crashes every time I open it now, so I don't think it's very long for this world. God bless. God bless open source developers, but oof. No think so. But we are live across the all stations. I think we are about ready to get started. We are live. The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
And each week on this show, we try to prove that just because you became a dad,
Does not mean it's game over.
and in fact, we got some fantastic responses to show just that for a question we asked. Now, this is going to be new for the show, and I'm hoping everybody can kind of participate. Last week, we asked the audience, what are you playing? Wait a minute. I messed it up. We're going to do it the other We're going to do it the other way. Last
No,
week,
no, continue with it. Let's go.
too late. Go for it. Last week we had answered what is on your backlog. We had gone through my Steam library and the 120 plus games that I'd never touched before in my life, and also the question of what games have you 100%ed and you completed. And it was fantastic. Just apropos of nothing, we got some responses from the audience members, which got us to thinking like that is an awesome way to start this show every week, is with a dad question for you guys. So this week's gaming question will be, what are you playing right now? Low bar, simple kind of question. Gaming dad, what are you into right now? Did you jump back into Diablo? Are you still on Starfield? Have you abandoned everything and gone back to an old, comfortable favorite? What are you playing right now? When this episode goes up, you'll see it linked on Twitter and on Threads, and the pinned version of that you can see within the comment and ask. So, gaming dads, what are you playing right now? From last week's, we got some great responses. So Tori at Shifty25 says 78 games in the Steam library, but I haven't played on Steam PC for some 7-8 years now since getting married and becoming a dad. Which is like
That rings true.
right? So it's like having the closet full of NES cartridges that you're gonna hopefully get to one day, roll back into them.
Right.
Thought that was great. Good friend of the show, This Dad's Platinum Journey. Great episode. I agree with Mario. It's a wonderful game with the hands-on I got. The games, I'm on 54 plats. So This Dad's Platinum Journey has platinumed, 100%ed 54 games. Which isn't big. I digress, sir. That is very big.
It's a lot.
But it's what dad can manage. Usually when I buy games, it's on the basis of, can I see myself having the time plat this now?
You and me both. Can I
That-
see myself having the time?
That is an interesting thing. Again, I don't think I've 100%ed a single game. So hats off to you, sir. And finally, we have Pete H. with 97 games in my library, 7 completed. Too many humble bundle sales. Yes, sir. Yes,
Right
sir.
with you. Yeah.
Way too many. So, good way to start off the show. Check us out on Twitter and Threads. Respond, and we'll read them off at the first. A little bit of dads talking to dads, supporting dads, letting dads know what's up. Now, a game that, as I said, the question this week are what are you playing right now? The new dads here are playing WarioWare Move It. Another fantastic, gracious thing. Nintendo gifted another game to both gaming dads here, Jeff and myself. Incredibly grateful for it. Decided to give it a shake. And much per our policy, if you would, with the show, is we only mention games that we've been gifted that we actually like. And lo and
Right.
behold, this is a wild one. This is something. I don't.
This is something that's
Can you try to describe a WarioWare game to gaming dads who might be listening and hadn't had the pleasure?
I think this is like so if you take Mario Party, right, you know, all those little mini games, and you take whatever the game developers were on with Mario Wonder and you mash them together, and it's this trippy party game that is just bonkers. Like some of these mini games are just off the wall insane. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm having a blast doing it.
It's just meant to, like, as he says that, the current mini game they're showing is a bird looking like a kiwi bird that is fanning a man with body hair, and the body hair is just flying off.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, like the most notable, interesting part about it is because it's just that the physicality to it. It's quick, it's fast. You're standing there looking at the screen, and then a new mini game pops up, and then you have to take the controllers, hold it in a certain way, and then act it out on screen. Okay, now you got to punch this yeti. Now you have to like fan this flame. Now you have to like crawl through this space, and it's fast. It's quick. This thing is like constantly moving. And right away, my initial thought and the payoff, and I'm curious on your side, Jeff, with yours, was for my kids. Like, it was just the jokes were silly. It was complete nonsensical. It is nonstop and silly and awesome. And then it's just that interactive part of it. So they're up and they're jumping and they're flailing their arms and they're laughing. And as opposed to a sedentary, just everybody sits and like veges out, like this is very much all the family members get together, stand up, have an uproarious time. So like, what for yourselves, like, and when you and your kids were playing it, what was that experience like, this kind of more physical nature and silly nature?
Yeah, it was definitely more physical. When they say you need like X amount of space, and I was like, no, you don't really, like, because I'm figuring it's kind of like Mario Party, right? You need that X amount of space. You need a wingspan because a lot of these are interactive, like you were saying, right? So my experience with my kids was like, the kids had a blast, and the nonstop nature that you mentioned was just playing right into what they wanted, right? They are totally like with it. They come from a Roblox kind of platform where they're kind of clicking through whatever game is going through. And that's almost describing these kind of games.
Yep.
They're very is crude. It's just very cut and put into play versus a kind of like a detailed, pristine kind of play, right? So they're very like mishmash. You don't know what you're going to get. So my kids are having a blast. Me, I'm laughing at them. So it is great. It's a good game for them. Like, I'm enjoying what they're getting joy out of this. That's awesome. But for someone that needs like a little bit more, I don't know, when you jump into a mini game, you don't know what you're doing. Like, you assume a pose, one of like 8 or 9, and then it doesn't give you any instruction. You just kind of have to figure it out on the fly, and you could fail in 2 seconds or continue for 5 seconds, and then it flips out to the new one, right? So it's kind of almost like that trial and error. And I don't know how far you went in this game, but there are some that are like, I don't know anybody who could beat this game. And then the other side was like, oh, we're pulling nose hairs out of a nose and measuring how long the nose hairs is, which is hilarious. So
yeah.
like, I'm of 2 kind of viewpoints.
Yeah, it's sort of what a lot of them feel like game jam games where
Yeah.
it's silly. It feels like they're half baked, and it's not to say there's not a quality there to them or an earnestness to them, but it's very shallow. The graphics are crude, purposefully. Like, again, it's just where one thing about it is there's just a style that emulates throughout the entire thing, so it's very purposeful in it. But they're all just like fast and crude. it's not very well explained. You almost have to go just with your gut. Okay, they told me to stand with both my hands in the air, and now a guy's holding a fan, so I guess I'm just going to, you can't think too much basically because you only have that 2 seconds to possibly get it. Again, it's one of those funny things where people talk about video games, and the first thing they go through is Call of Duty to, violence and sedentary nature of it. And there's something so charming about a title like this that comes along that is silly and nonsensical and fun and active. Like everybody stands and it's a party mode too, right? Like you can have some number of players and they can all kind of jump up and grab the Joy-Cons. It's just great that it exists in some form or another. So like I left really impressed with it, really.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the answer I got back from my kids, but I asked them, what's your favorite, Mario Wonder or WarioWare? And they had paused. And I was like, really? I thought for sure it would just be Mario Wonder right away, but they said no, they were just different. So like we really had fun playing WarioWare, and Mario Wonder was more of a game to them, right? Where this was just silly fun, almost like a gym class kind of thing, right? You're just getting like the sillies out. So I would take that to heart and just say anybody that wants to get their kids up and moving, like you were saying there, this is the game to do that for sure.
One of the ones that I liked, it's almost like a nod to the game's success, was we got their title, which again we're very grateful to Nintendo, and we're only reviewing it because we actually liked it. We have received titles and have not reviewed them because we didn't like them. But in this case we did, and I told me, because it was special, it's like, okay, kids, we don't usually let them play during the week.
Okay.
But let's call it like a Wednesday. And it's like, hey guys, listen, I got this special game. Why don't we let's all play a game. Come on in. And my oldest got it in his head, like, oh boy, we get to play Mario. Because that's that's the main game we've all been playing together.
Right.
And it's one of those expectations versus reality things and level setting. So he was disappointed because he really wanted to play Mario, right? So he got super grumpy, like folded his arms, like, well, no, I'm not going to play then. And so fine, the little brother goes instead, and he's playing it. He's doing all this nonsense and silliness, and the whole time you're just seeing the older brother like trying to stay mad.
Oh yeah,
and not want to interact because he's so badly. It's just this internal child battle, right? Because he so badly wanted to actually play because he was very interested in it, but then he couldn't. But he couldn't bring himself to admit that, like, no, I'm mad and I'm not going to play it. So the game
is a
won.
Nintendo commercial.
Yes.
Right?
It's the balm that solves any family friction.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So it won him over. It won us over, and I think it sounds like it was the same for you, Jeff. This is another pickup. This is an excellent game.
It's hilarious. Just manage your expectations on what it is, and maybe view a couple of videos like, okay, this is what I'm getting into, and just have fun with it.
All right. So, hey, any other gaming dads out there who had experience with it or something similar, perhaps a WarioWare from back in the Wii days, reach out to us. Let us know your experience at New Dad Gaming, newdadgaming.com. Now, it was one game that I played amongst what I could only describe as a plethora, because I am just far and wide. I'm in search of a game. So let me tell you like the current angle I'm on. So here's what I'm currently jamming with. I'll be honest, I have bounced off of Diablo a bit.
Okay, that's not surprising.
It's just it's the commitment. It's sort of like I'm gonna need to sit down with this for like 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
With sessions, and these last couple of weeks have been just we're preparing for winter. There's a lot of stuff on the go. Work is busy. It's just I don't have the commitment for this.
Right.
Like this is too much. So fine. Starfield, same thing. Just love it. Had such an amazing time with it, but I could spend 2 hours and I would have done nothing except crafted a 10% better gun. Barrel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just classic type Bethesda. So kind of bouncing off that as well. So games I have been playing with success. NHL. I'm back playing hockey.
Okay.
So I have it. I'm
winter.
Winter.
Yeah.
I picked a team. First I was the Leafs, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I was with the Senators. And I'm just doing a season. So I'm going to try to win the Stanley Cup.
Okay. Very basic, like a clear goal.
Right?
Right? Yes.
There's some permanence. There's some purpose. And you're just and the best thing about it, super sessionable. That it's a 5 to 10 minute game. So adoring it. But the other place I was at, like in preparation for this, and I'm going to stream it. And if you'd be interested in joining along with me, I'd love you to do so. Find us on Twitch at New Dad Gaming Podcast. But I downloaded Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, Marvel Snap, Legends of Runeterra, like
Oh my god.
and Slay the Spire. All of them.
That's a lot of card games.
Yeah. So they
Yeah,
because I adore card games.
you do.
But there's just I have a real difficulty at some point with the grind. But I was like, you know what I think would be an interesting stream would be to come back to each of these ones, stream what I'm doing, like, and try to play around with each one and
Okay.
see if any of these are kind of where I'm at right now. Much like the NHL to my Starfield. Perhaps
Yes, yes, I'm
perhaps-
following. Okay.
perhaps Marvel Snap is the card game to my Magic the Gathering, whatever, however you want to go. So I've had a hankering for a game, and I've just downloaded a smorgasbord of all of them to sample, and I'm going to try to stream a few sessions, see where I'm at.
Okay.
What's your feeling on my approach and my ideas on trying to get back into a card game?
I don't know how you do it.
Like,
Just in just downloading so many at once, because I would have like that, you can't choose something. Like you're like, oh, I could play this for a bit, but I kind of like this, and then it's 10 o'clock, 10:30, and you're like, maybe I'll just watch a TV show and go to bed. But if you can roll through some of those games, because I know that you do like those games, and that would be something, maybe something's in there that have you played all of them? Like, do you know what you're looking for yet? Yeah.
yeah, the one I've played the least would be Marvel Snap.
I heard that was really good though, like really addictive.
I played some rounds, so like I'm familiar with it. So I'm certainly aware of it. I think I'm gonna bounce off pretty hard Magic the Gathering. I watch
Really?
some stream. I watch. I love it. I really do. But it's not. It used to be open the pack, come up with a kind of a cool little deck, have powerful creatures, do what you do, and it's just so deep now. It's absurd.
Oh.
Like if you want to get any kind of sense, go to Twitch, watch a Magic streamer, and it is just so hard to possibly follow. In some ways, what I really think, and I even found this with Hearthstone a little bit, where I fall apart a little bit is if the majority of my strategy relies on knowing all the cards so that I can counter the strategy.
Right.
Where it's like, well, he's playing this type of deck, so I know what's going to happen. He's probably going to do this, this, or that. So instead, I'm going to do this thing. And that degree of like research and memorization, that is not congruent
No.
with the dad life, right?
No, it is not. You're gonna have to, unless you get your kids involved, and then they're rhyming off. No, 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 Dad, you want to play this?
I half wondered. You'll notice I didn't mention Pokemon. They do have a digital one, and with each pack that I purchase for them, there is like digital code.
A digital card. I never like put those through. I don't know why.
But maybe that's a mistake. Maybe that's short-sighted. What can I say? But I'll report back. Like I said, I'll try to. If you pay attention, if you're interested in helping a brother out, helping a dad out, join me on stream. I will be trying to post like an hour before I go live, some various times, hoping at very least on Friday. If I can sneak one in during the week, I'd gladly to. But the idea is to try to stream for a couple hours and play a few of the card battlers and see where we end up. And maybe it's none. Maybe it's just gonna be hockey for the next like 6
That's
months.
it.
Guys,
Is there
are
a
trying-
hockey battle game? Maybe you can do that.
Wow, don't get started on that. That's unfortunately some pretty predatory nonsense. There's a whole.
No.
I would almost want to research it. I'd be curious to hear from other gaming dads who have experience, but there is an entire card system with all sports games now, most notably in football, FIFA, and NHL, where
Oh.
to get your players, you buy packs, and then your packs like have particular rarities and it's certain people, then you can build like a custom team to go against other people.
Interesting.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Hold on. On screen just showed up Gwent. Did you not try Gwent?
I
given
did try Gwent.
Okay. Just
Not
your
the
thing?
standalone. Not the standalone game. Just within Witcher.
And not just not your thing. Like,
I had fun with it, but I didn't want to do it all at once. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to play it just solo. I think I had fun with it as it was. And then part of that game world is like you went around and found the cards, kind of like collecting them and coming across them and trading for them, and that was neat. and then playing the game, I'm like, oh, okay, I've done this work to make a good deck, kind of like you were saying, right? So I have some sort of sense of where I'm at versus going to a match and then I'm kind of at the mercy of whoever's bought whatever card. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not playing against other people. It's just the AI and
Yeah.
different levels.
It's certainly one of the other like sad natures of, and again, one of those things as a gaming dad that's good to be aware of is a lot of these are very much play to win. Sorry,
Yeah.
pay to win,
Pay to win, yeah.
which is you need to get certain cards. They only have a 1% chance of showing up, so you're going to have to pay $100 to buy the packs to get it. And it certainly rears its ugly head every now and then. Like little free play Trevor shows up and like, I'll play a 1 mana 4 card. It's like 7/8 dragon. It's like cool. We're
That's the end of that game. Back to hockey.
having a lot of fun going hat trick. Let's go. Just leave. So that it almost honestly feels like where a lot of these will fall flat. Perhaps that's where Slay the Spire might come in handy. It is just
yeah.
single player focused one, but there's also an end. Like
That's
you can just beat it and it's done.
I think that's maybe you need that. Maybe you need like a defined
I need a
end,
goal.
like hockey, right? A defined end with the Stanley Cup, and you're done. On to
There
the
you
next.
go. Alrighty. Anyways, so folks, keep an eye on it. Would love if you joined it or had any other kind of experience or suggestions for us. Would hear. Now we had mentioned Christmas. We had mentioned the Pokemon packs, which is often plays as a Christmas staple in our household, and it's a place where I'm getting. And I'm reaching out for some gaming dad assistance because where we currently are is we're having real trouble this year
Yeah.
figuring out what the heck to get our kids. They're 6 and 8. They've pretty much passed the toy phase, so you can't just get them like a Transformer, like Ninja Turtle dolls. You know what I mean? Like it's now. It was Beyblades for a while, but they kind of fell off of that. We tried Hot Wheels. Lego's pretty good at all times, but it's just still like, we're at a real impasse as far as like what we could possibly get them. What they would want, honestly, is probably Robux, if I'm honest. But we've drawn a pretty hard line about that. Like
Right.
no Robux coming along. But given that, like, do you recall with your kids when you passed a certain kind of age threshold? Was there some certain kind of dicey middle years where it's like, what the heck do we get these folks?
Yeah, we're in that phase now still, so I can speak
That's
to
not
it.
hopeful. And you were
Well-
supposed to tell me there was like light at the end of the tunnel. Not that it's gonna go on forever now.
Jeff has all the answers. Listen, Trevor, I will tell you all the answers from the future. No, it's about 8 or 9, so your kids are right there, right? They got out of the toys, and like you were saying, Lego could work, marble mazes could work, but we were kind of done with that stuff ourselves, and we're like, we don't need any more toys and stuff in the place because we saw them get out of that. So our initial theory was let's get them one big gift, and that would be it, right? So
Okay, like
we have
to
like
share or like each.
it depends on what it was. So at one time it was going to be another Switch. We didn't go down that road. It was going to be a new iPad because we have an iPad that is 10 years old. So those would be sharing things. But it was like one of those, we kind of want them to open up the things because I think that's part of it. They don't get a lot, but they get a lot of little things at once. And I think they tend to kind of count them up. And not to say that like more is what they need, but
Yeah.
like we'll wrap, a chocolate bar or whatever, just simple things. But it's totally different now. So they are more game codes, digital codes. We've gone into statues, actually, like statues of anime, even
Oh, interesting.
what's it called? The little bobblehead ones. God, I can't think of the name. You walk into any GameStop now and there's a whole wall of them.
Funko Pops.
Funko Pops. They've gotten into that a little bit, just as like a here and there. They're not collecting them or anything, but it's a nice to have. And then maybe pair it with a game they might want or might not want, or something else that it's not going to be the stuff. It's not going to be the toys. It's just kind of gone. We've actually gone the other way where it's more like like you're sculpting something, or it's an art thing, or they get paint to do a canvas or something that themselves. But we're
Okay.
very much out of the go through the catalog, circle, and you're
toys.
done.
Which
Lots of
four toys
books.
did you like?
Books are a big one too. So, and they tend to really enjoy them, whether it be manga or actual books like novels. They are all over that stuff.
Book. That's a good angle because they've both gotten into, which has been really amazing for us. They have started to get into graphic novels,
Okay, yep.
and I'll say I'm a bit surprised that the wealth of available graphic novels targeted towards younger kids.
Yeah.
Like, not
Yes.
they're not unserious. So it's not like Tommy the Snowman goes and gets like a bagel. Like it's just like actual like stories and other parts. So it's quite like overarching themes. Like there was one really big hit was The Bad Guys.
Yep.
So which it was, it's gross and it's like silly and it's like dumb, but like in a way that a young child like really enjoys. So actually, now that I say that out loud, if we can get them like some copies of that to go, that'd be fantastic. Art's good. They kind of got back into art, so that's a good idea. That's not bad. So that is some answers. See,
It gives you something.
See?
All right, I came
Kinda
with some
giving a bit of light at
answers.
the end of the tunnel.
That's good.
But just to be so simple though, it's like, and here's a transformer. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
But then
Sometimes they like big. So we don't usually get them like graphic tees of their like favorite Naruto character or whatever. So even that at Christmas, where they get a big fluffy that's got Naruto on it that we would just die if we paid full price for during the year. It's a special treat for them, and they really like appreciate it. So stuff like that too.
I got you. Okay.
We got something.
That is, I will report back. Gaming Dads, as always, if you have some tips that have worked great for you in the past, that beyond what Jeff and I just mentioned, hit us up, New Dad Gaming, at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. Now, I was fascinated, Jeff, through the week to watch your posts of Fallout 4.
Yeah,
Listen, we did this. We moved. It. I not once in my entire Fallout career. I don't know if I was launch day purchase, but I was
Oh.
pretty close. I can't
Okay.
remember. I'd have to go back to the episodes. All of us gaming dads got into it. Loved it quite a bit. I did not do a single mission to find my son the entire time. So I'm
Yeah.
seeing all these posts from you this week where I think even on your Steam Deck, you
Yep.
dipped back into Fallout 4. What the heck happened?
You know, Trevor, gaming's wild. I don't know. There's so
It's
many
so wild.
options. Like I said before, there's so many options. But it actually stemmed from our last episode where we're looking at our backlog, and I'm like, hey, wait. I have Fallout 4. I'm kind of in the mood for an open world post-apocalyptic world.
That goes with the
Desolate.
Christmas season, right?
Yeah, that's right. But no, I was interested in just going around. I was fresh off Cyberpunk, so I'm like, I'm good for another open world that I can take at my own pace. So I loaded that thing up, and you again may have played this right out of the gate, but I bounced off this game when it came out. It wasn't for me. Maybe I was in kid mode, and I was like, I don't need nukes going off and everybody dying and finding my kid. Like, I can need time away from my kid, right? Like, but having this on the Steam Deck, I loaded it up, and my kids have like after school programs, and it's too short enough for me to like drive back home and then come back and get them. So I have to just sit in the car. And with a Steam Deck, I can be out in the land of Fallout
That's-
and go around at my own pace.
We're doing a lot of commercials today because
I know.
if that's not a commercial for the Steam Deck, hey gaming dad, do you got some time to kill? You're in your car looking bored, looking hard left. Yeah. Well, boy,
Exactly.
boy, do I have
Yeah.
something for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get it running on the Steam Deck. You got some time because you're finding you have a little bit in between, some downtime between.
Yeah.
It. So what's the experience been like after all this time? So you're back in it.
I love it now. I am
Oh.
fully engulfed. I like how you can't. It's very, again, Bethesda, Skyrim, where all the items you have to like physically go and get versus just scanning. Like in Witcher 3, you'd scan with your Witcher Witcher senses, and it would highlight everything that you can get, and you just like, up, 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 done. So this one I like kind of like rummaging through. I like the environments, how they tell a story. I think I ran across like this cheap nuclear bunker that said it was like cheap from the company, and you open them up and all the bodies spill out. So obviously they didn't like work out. Just like environmental storytelling was kind of cool to see. I will say though, much like you have said on this show, the weight and over encumbrance of just the items you pick, immediately I tried to mod that out.
Oh, cheat right away.
Oh,
every
yeah.
time.
It was like not even a question. And then when I went to mod it, I think people saw on our Twitter that it erased all my game saves.
It's a dark side. It's like,
'Cause-
I don't want to play by the rules, eh?
Yeah, on Steam Deck it's quite different because it's Linux, so like you have to kind of fumble around a little bit. And I don't know if I dropped in things to the wrong folder or moved something I wasn't supposed to, but all my progress was gone. And I was like at a crossroads. I'm like, I am not going back in and playing. I think at that point maybe 8-10 hours. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Oh, come on.
Managed.
Those are amateur hours.
In
What
that
did
time,
you do in 10 hours? Be
in
honest.
that time, that's an insane amount. That's
It's a year.
that's
but it's fine.
forever.
That's a year in gaming and dad time.
But I will say, and I like a lot on this show, we've had game saves being deleted and overwritten and all sorts of crazy hijinks, right? Steam Cloud Saves came in to save the day.
Oh,
Thank
no way.
thank the Lord of Gabe that it was up there and I pulled it down and everything was fine and I could pick up whatever I wanted because I modded out that weight
And you
limit.
got the mod out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm good. I'm having a great time.
That is so fantastic. Yeah. I'd love to. I'm telling you, it is a bizarre place to be, but I honestly look forward to retirement and the thought of going through this backlog. And it's just like, you know what? I'm going to spend the better part of a month just ambling around because I got nothing to do. I'm an old retired man now. I'm just going to play this game and maybe I'll stream it. Who knows?
That's what we say from now on, though. When we buy a game and add it to the backlog, we're just saving for retirement.
This is a
I
retirement.
think that's what we're saying now, right?
What's the 401k equivalent for gaming, like gaming investments? It's like, don't you worry. The only slight thing where that doesn't work is because it is digital. It sort of harkens to the benefit of how you previously tried your best to be physical with your games, and
Nope.
much like some savings, it might just go up at a flash if it's ill managed.
That's right.
So let's hope it's still around, or at very least some sort of streaming thing where we might be able to participate. Well, keep us posted from the Wastelands to see how it goes. That is, I'll be curious to see if
Absolutely.
you get through it.
I will too. I already found the lady with the chair. I built her chair, so I'm good on that
man.
front.
Good start.
But
Call back. Man, I almost want to give a prize to the listener who finds the episode that Jeff
Yes.
just referenced. That's a
I
deep
know,
pull.
right? I have it in my thoughts. You're in front of the mind when I play this.
Yeah, I do not know if there's a Bethesda game that I've finished. Honestly, they're just so long.
Does anyone finish them? I have never finished Skyrim. I still haven't finished that game. Starfield's gonna sit there for you forever.
Yeah,
So-
I'll always have a space option. And then
Yeah.
the two games will merge eventually. You like to think it's one continuous story between one.
That's right. Yeah, it's a multiverse of Bethesda.
So that is all great, everybody. We'll wrap it up there for the week. Thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. So as I mentioned, per the start of the show, it was a bit messy, but we're going to start doing this every week, I think, if we get some traction, because it was so cool to read the answers from listeners this week. So what are you playing this week? What are you playing right now? Let us know in the comments. We'll do some shout-outs at the beginning of the show. And again, if you do want to answer that question, you can find us on Twitter at New Dad Gaming, on Threads at New Dad Gaming, and on our website, newdadgaming.com. If you want to join me on Twitch for some of those streams, you can find us and subscribe at Twitch at New Dad Gaming Podcast. And otherwise, just keep up to date with everything else that's going on. It has been fantastic. We really want to thank Nintendo for sponsoring the show with the game. It's legitimately a great one, and that's why I review it. That is the policy of the show, one that will continue. But that was stunning. That was fantastic. We're very grateful for the opportunity, and that's a heck of a game for the family. That was quite hilarious. But if you have any suggestions, if you have any thoughts, go to any of those socials. We'd love to hear from you. If you like the show, you can find us on all the major podcasting network. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Caster, anywhere we get your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. A subscription really helps us out, and a rating really helps us out. Helps boost the signal to other gaming dads as we try to build a whole community and get some of those hot questions answered around what they're playing, and what to get my kids for Christmas. Has anybody finished a Fallout 4 game, and everything else in between? Everyone, last time, thank you so much for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old.
And I'm Jeff, fresh out of the Vault 111 with my 13-year-old and 10-year-old.
And just remember, just because you became a dad
Does not mean it's game over.
All right. See you next week.
See you later.